Hey guys, Joshua Peterson with Peterson Electric here today. I'm in a cabin up in the mountains and they have an issue with the toe kick heater. So I wanted to show you, first of all, trying to get these things out is a little difficult, getting the cabinet up, getting the pieces out, screwing it back in. Here's the most common obvious thing. Complaint is that it wasn't working. Real simple. That's charred, completely off. If you look here real close, this was hanging right here about ready to ground out. So imagine if someone didn't connect their ground, or you had no grounds and it was just 2-wire, and you go to grab this thing, man, you would have been energized if that thermostat right there on that wall, right there, if that thermostat would have been energized and that would have hit. So that just melted right off. Here's an interesting thing. When I went to take my meter and I put it on resistance, I went to check my resistance on the element, see if the element was bad. 30 ohms of resistance. Well, if you do the math, you're going to find out that that doesn't work. So when you check in an element, whether a hot tub or a range, baseboard heater, or even an under cabinet heater, you want all wires disconnected. And I'm getting about 41 ohms. It might go down to 40. So it tells me my element is good. If you come across this way, you're going to get 20 because you're only on one side. This heater has the capability of doing 750 watt or 1500. 750 times 1500, 750 times 2 elements is 1500 watts. Okay, again 20 ohms. If I cross it, true resistance on this guy is 40 ohms. And it's not doing too well because it has really bad connections to the charge. There you go, 40 ohms. So the other thing you want to look at is this a 120 volt rated or 240? It says right in here it's 240 volt rated. It's not at 208 single phase, well 3-phase in a building, but 2 hot's a single phase in a building with 3-phase. So it's not 208, it's going to be 240, 6.3 amps at 1500 watts. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's check our math. Here on our pi, or our Ohm's law theory, if we have watts, which we know that because it constantly says there, 1500, and we divide it out, it says that it's 240. That's nominal voltage. Truly at the panel, it's been 238. It means I've got 6.3 amps. Okay? So that was basically taking wattage divided by our voltage will give you our amps, 6.3. Now I know that I have the resistance, so let's say I was trying to find with this resistance, I know that I could take right here, I know I have 6.3 amps times 40 ohms gives me 252 volts. That's a little high. We're actually supposed to be at 238. So what has been different there could be the fact that the current, I know they're at 40 ohms, and let's assume that our current might be closer to 240. So maybe our current, when it's truly burning, is going to be like 5.9 times 40 ohms. Oops, sorry. 40 ohms times 5.9. 236 volts. That's close enough. Bottom line, we had a true 41 resistance. We have truly at current about 6. So we're at 246 to 238. It's a nominal voltage. It will fluctuate about 2 to 5% there. The other thing you can do is you can check it another way, and you can say, okay, what is my resistance? Well, we have voltage, 238, divided by our amperage at 6.23, whatever. 38 ohms of resistance. So that matches up. So what my meter is telling me inside here, what my meter is telling me on the pressure here, resistance and the pressure, should still tell me that the true wattage here, that this unit is good. Truly the bad part about this unit is this right here, this fork. There's really no way to solder this fork back on. And I guess if you know how to solder and you want to cut this off and re-splice it, this wire is now too short. And this is actually a really high temperature rated insulation, so you're going to have a hard time doing that unless you can replace that. We could have also a bad thermal, it's a resettable thermal fuse in here. It's going to be a high limit and a low limit. And then this fan blade has to kick on too, which I haven't seen an issue with that. The motor looks clean. Believe it or not, that's the same fan blade that you'll put in the back of a refrigerator to push your cool air through. It might just be a different temperature. But this is truly a 120 fan through here. These are indicator lights, so they're dummy lights so people can see that they're on. You have a thermal fuse. Once that blows, it does not reset. You have to buy a new one. So in a nutshell, power is going to come in, come through, waiting to check through the thermal fuse, come here to the thermocoupler, and then you say, hey, I want it turned on. Well, then you're going to have one of that element hot. That's going to kick on, allowing power to go through to the fan to cool it, and 240 coming through. And you're either going to do 40 ohms of resistance or just 20, which is 750 watt versus 1500 watts. And as that cycles through, you can see where the weakest link was, where it burnt. Bottom line, they want us to change it out, but I wanted to show you a little bit more about your Ohm's Law here. And this is just an Uglies book that you could pick up at Home Depot, Lowe's, any of your electrical supply houses. Great little book for great thoughts.